Hello viewers, I am Dr. Shama Shetty, Assistant Professor from Department of ENT, Kasturba Hospital, Manipal. So today I am going to talk about laryngeal cancer. Laryngeal cancer is nothing but a cancer of voice box. This cancer has got a special importance because of its significant effect on the voice, swallowing and the quality of life. So the three main functions of larynx is to it helps in breathing, it helps to produce voice, it also prevents the food from entering into the lungs. So with this understanding, let me tell you what are the risk factors for this cancer. So one is smoking, excessive drinking of alcohol for a long period of time. So these substances, they contain carcinogens which damage the DNA and hence it can lead to cancer. So other risk factors which are involved are if the elderly individuals, usually age more than 55 years, it's more common in male population, if your immunity is very low, and also if there is any exposure to chemicals like asbestos. So if there is presence of this risk factor does not mean you have to develop the cancer, but there is a chance of developing it. So next, what are the signs and symptoms with patients with this laryngeal cancer the present way? So it depends upon the part of the larynx which is affected. So larynx can be divided into three parts: supraglottis, glottis and the subglottis. So glottis is the middle part which has got this vocal cords which vibrates while we talk. So usually the glottic cancer is more common, next common is the supraglottic and then comes the subglottic. So it depends, the initial symptoms, it depends on which part of the larynx is affected. So usually patients with a glottic cancer, they come with the complaints of change of voice initially and then the other symptoms. Whereas the patients with supraglottic cancer, initially they have pain while swallowing or discomfort while swallowing, or they feel that there is some lump in their throat or the foreign body sensation they feel. And subglottic cancer, they usually have difficulty in breathing and then they will develop voice change and other symptoms. So other than this, patient can have a bad cough, persistent cough because of chest infection, and also the persistent ear pain. So when patients come with these symptoms, we need to do some tests to diagnose their cancer. So first of all, we will do a video laryngoscopy or a flexible scopy. So this is done in OPD itself under local anesthesia. So in this we use a tiny lighting camera to see the larynx. So in OPD we pass it to the mouth, and in the flexible scopy we pass a scope via the nose. So we assess the voice box, we see if there is any growth is present, we see if these cords are moving well, if there is any restriction, because there is treatment planning, it depends on the treatment planning. So after this, next a complete assessment of the tumor is done under general anesthesia, because we have to see where the tumor is located, the close examination need to be done because of the depth of it, and in the general anesthesia we will take a small tissue or the sample for biopsy, and we send it to the lab to detect whether there is presence of any cancer cells. Next, we also need to know if this cancer has spread out of the voice box, if any neck nodes are involved, or it has spread to the other parts of the body like lung and liver. So we need to know some radiological investigations like a CT scan, MRI scan or a PET CT. Once all this diagnosis of the cancer is made, and we need to stage the cancer, whether it is in the early stage or it is in the advanced stage. Next, a team of specialists which includes the surgeons, the radiation oncologists, the medical oncologists, the radiologists and pathologists, they all sit together and they review the reports and they opine about the best treatment plan for the patient. So it is in making this decision for the decision, it is various factors have to be considered. So what is the age of the patient, how is the general condition of the patient, is he fit for the surgery, will he be able to tolerate the radiotherapy or the chemotherapy, all these things has to be considered. Even the occupation of the patient, which occupation belongs to, a lot of it demands a lot of speech in his occupation, so whether it is possible to preserve the larynx, any other mode is there, all these things has to be considered. So all these treatment options will be told to the patient, discussed with them, their complication, advantages, everything will be told to them. So there are two categories of treatment, the surgical treatment and the non-surgical treatment. So non-surgical treatment means there is a radiotherapy or the chemoradiotherapy. So it is very important for the patient to understand these various cancer treatments and their effect on their vocal function and the quality of life. They also need to know in which stage of cancer they had come to us and also the location of tumor, because all these are going to influence the treatment recommendation. So in early stage radiotherapy alone can be done, or surgery alone can be done, but in advanced stages the combination of surgery and radiotherapy will be required. In some cases the chemo radiation can be given, that along with the radiotherapy some chemotherapeutic drugs are given to kill the cancer. So radiotherapy is usually given for a period of 6 to 7 weeks, and in a week 5 days it is given. And there are in surgery we have options like conservative laryngeal surgery, and there is total laryngectomy. So conservative laryngeal surgery, when I say, it means it has to means the main aim is to maintain the speech and the swallowing. So in conservative laryngeal surgeries we have something called transoral endoscopic surgery and partial laryngectomy surgeries. So in transoral laryngectomy, transoral endoscopic laser surgeries, the tumor is assessed via the mouth and it is removed. There is no external cuts. Whereas in partial laryngeal surgery, the external cuts are made and the larynx which is affected by tumor is removed. So here it is these surgeries can be done in selected cases. So it is very important for the cancer to be removed, and also the laryngeal function has to be preserved, and also the lung function of the patient has to be good for that. Otherwise, there is no point in doing the surgery. And last cases we do a total laryngectomy. Your whole voice box is removed, and there will be a permanent hole in the front of the neck of the patient. It is called stoma, through which the patient has to breathe. Yes, immediately after surgery patient will not be able to talk, but there are options for that too. So speech and language pathologists play an important role here. So once the patient heals after the surgery, they will be taught new ways to produce voice. So there are mainly 3 options: esophageal speech, tracheoesophageal voice processes is there, and artificial larynx. Esophageal speech, it requires a lot of things. In tracheoesophageal processes, there is a hole is made between the foot pipe and the windpipe, and the one wall processes is inserted. So when the patient has to inhale the air, and when he exhales he has to close the opening so that the air enters into this processes and it vibrates the upper part of your foot pipe, and then you will be taught how to produce voice. And the last one is the artificial larynx. Here it is a battery oriented device. The vibrations produced by the battery, you keep it near the neck, and the vibration produced, you will be taught how to produce voice. It is easy to communicate with this, and but the quality of the voice is mechanical, whereas in tracheoesophageal processes the quality of voice is naturally sounding. This is about the speech. Next, coming to the swallowing. So immediately after surgery for 2 weeks you will not be given anything via the mouth. So you will be giving food to the nasogastric tube, or we call the Ryle's tube. So after 2 weeks, approximately after the 2 weeks, you will be started giving food via the mouth. So once the treatment is being given, then the patient is asked to come for regular follow-ups. They have to see how the surgery part, how the healing of the surgery part, and about the radiotherapy and the speech therapy. All this has to be followed up. So outlook of the laryngeal surgery, it depends upon the stage at which the cancer has been diagnosed. In case they come early, it is easy to cure, and also the quality of life is better. But never to forget that even the advanced laryngeal cancers can be cured. Thank you.